this is why sexuality is such a core place for people to feel shame, because in our particular culture, we have not done sexuality well at all, both in secular culture or in religious culture. And so it's almost impossible to grow up without sexual shame unless you're one of the 3 to 5% of people who grow up in a home where your parents are really comfortable talking about sexual health and your body and how it changes, and they know, that 3-year-olds in the bathtub are going to discover their genitals and go, wow, this feels great. Look at this, mommy. Isn't this wonderful? And 5-year-olds are going to want to touch each other, et cetera, et cetera. And when that happens, they're going to really non-reactively respond and say, yep, there you go, but we're going to put our clothes on and we're going to go do this instead, and kind of really deal with things in really non-shaming ways. But very, very few, literally 3 to 5% of people grow up in homes like that. So the vast majority of people grow up in homes that are silent or silent and shaming around sexuality. So then all you have teaching you about sex is culture. And culture says that we sell people and we use people. And that makes us feel bad because it doesn't feel right in our heart. Because we don't want to be used, and we actually don't really want to use people. It doesn't feel good to us. We want to be loved. We want to be seen, known, loved, and accepted. And we want to know, love, and accept others. And so when we use them, even if we're getting something we think we want, at a core level, it doesn't satisfy us because it doesn't really feel good.
Right.
So even though culture says that's what we're supposed to do, it still leaves us not feeling right. And that's all we have. All we have.
So with these, so many people that are in our audience are interested in knowing how they can become part of that 3 to 5% with their kids. So since you brought up the issue of children and child raising, I'd love to ask you, how can we change the way we express boundaries with our children? This is going to hurt you. This might be hard for you. This might be against the goals you have for yourself sexually. But at the same time, encourage exploration and this sort of openness that desire and pleasure are God-given and fun places.
Well, first and foremost, you have to heal your own shame. That's where you have to start. Because your children will touch your shame by the time they're 2 or 3.
Such a great point.
They will. And, I remember, my oldest is 28. So, my oldest boy. And I can remember when I was pregnant with my daughter, and he's 4, and we all know about how tall 4-year-olds are. And we're in the grocery store, and he's like, oh, mommy, I'm so excited you're going to have a baby. And he grabs my hips and he kisses me, right? In the grocery store line. And nobody hears what he's saying to me, right?
Right.
And if I wasn't comfortable with all of that, I could have really easily had very normal, and I'll say normal shame, right? And been worried about what everybody around me would have thought and said, Christian, what are you doing? Right? And shamed this very sweet, loving act that this little tender boy did. And that would have been one of maybe many things that would have sent him underground, that said, whatever that was I just did, I need to never do that again. And then he begins to stitch together anything that seems to be related to that. He may not even know then that it had to do with my genital area, but he'll start stitching things together. In time, he'll figure it all out. So we have to deal with our own shame first, and then we get every single developmental book we can find, and we understand where kids' curiosities are around their body and how they're going to normally express it. We talk with our partner about, well, when they do this, how do you want to handle it? And you actually role play with your partner. So when they do this in the bathtub, what do you want to do? You know, when they run around the house and they go, look, Mommy, you want to kiss my penis? What are we going to do? When they, when they do this, what are we going to do? And you talk through. So when it happens, you're not shocked. You've been practicing. And
yeah, I agree. It's not
it.
your shaming that's triggering your response. One of the things we've been working with my son about is his excitement to touch my breasts. And I feel like when I'm in mixed company, I don't want you doing that. And so we talk about our privates, and our privates belong to you and my privates belong to me. And you have to ask permission, and getting to the point of you can't touch other people's privates, even if they say yes, they're not hands-on for you. So that's where the whole boundaries is so difficult. And I think this kind of translates over into the bedroom when you're a married couple, and there's these passages where Christian women hear, well, my body belongs to him, so if he wants to do that, I just need to give in. And so there's a lack of boundaries, dangerous lack of boundaries. So I think there's like two parts of this question now, right? There's boundaries. How do you tell your child, okay, this is my private, and I love that you're so excited to kiss me, but do you say then, I would love for you to kiss my stomach, or point out something else and then repeat the boundary without shaming? How do you do that?
Well, I think what we have to remember is that in a child's eye, there's no difference between noses, ears, and breasts. No different. They all belong to their mommy, and they love every inch of their mommy. And so there's no difference. However, if you have any part of your body, your nose, your ear, your breast, that you don't want your child to touch, it's okay to say, you know what, I don't really want you to kiss my breast, or I don't really want you to kiss my nose. You know, it's just, it's not a kissing place for me, maybe other people, but not for me. The book I recommend for parents to get around this stuff is called A Very Touching Book by Jan Hindman. And it's about good touch, bad touch, and secret touch. And that's really how kids think. Good touch is touch that feels loving. Bad touch is touch that hurts. And secret touch is touch that makes me feel icky, or someone tells me I can't tell. And they don't even really understand privates. Like, they're going to start to understand that, but that's really an adult construction. That is not their construction, because the body's all wonderful as far as they're concerned. It is wonderful.
It is.
Truly. You know, it's our issue. It's the culture's issue that it's not all wonderful.
And that you have to guard things as private is only a reaction against people who don't know respect of yes and no.
Right. Yeah. But it is okay to say that any part of our body, anything that we don't want done, we get to say no to. And that we teach our children that, you know, that you're gonna have people that are not gonna be comfortable with certain things, and it is good to ask permission. And that mommy's gonna say that. Mommy's gonna say that, you know, today I don't want this, or I don't want that. And we need to respect that. And you can say that to me, you know, Mommy, you knock before you come in my room, or Mommy, whatever. And this is how we learn to respect each other. But we're not going to make it just around sexualized things. We're gonna make it around anything.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Just same reason you don't pull people's hair or blow up people's noses. There's all these things that make people uncomfortable you have to pay attention to. It's not just around sexual organs.
Yes. And I would say that that same line needs to continue into marriage.
Great. Okay, let's hear more about that.
So whether I'm in the kitchen or I'm in the bedroom, if I don't want to do something, I don't want to do something. And I feel at home enough to tell you about that. And you do too.
Yes.
And it's not about rejecting.
That's right.
It's about the fact that the point of our relationship is connection, honor, and pleasure. That's why we came together. We enjoyed each other. We loved each other's company. We want to cherish that. We want to protect that. We want to care for that. That's why I decide how I'm going to talk to you, because I'm caring for this thing called a marriage. So I'm not going to let anything happen if it's going to jeopardize that. If I don't want something to happen and I let you do it, I'm jeopardizing this precious thing called a marriage that I want to take care of.
Right, right.
And I wouldn't want you to let me do something that would leave you feeling badly. Right. Yeah. So please be honest. That's how we build intimacy and trust, is that I tell you my truth and you tell me your truth. And we honor our vows and we do what we say we're going to do. Those are the three ways we build intimacy and trust.
Right.